Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're at Mike Morgan Hyundai, and this is the 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. It has an exterior color of Calypso red and a beige interior. The price is $37,185. So let's see exactly what you get for that price besides this stunning exterior color. A very nice overall look with the design of the headlights. It is kind of interesting that you kind of have a T here. Could have made that an H of sorts with the daytime running lights, but you've got your low and your high beam headlights, got the blinkers turned on or the hazard lights, and a nice large grille. It fits the size of the vehicle but still has a nice bold look to it. Also, something you might not think of having that maybe sometimes seems a little more reserved for high performance vehicles is you're going to have the air curtain right here that allows air to pass through the fender, that's going to cut down on drag because it's going to come all the way out through the rear of the fender right here. That's going to help improve gas mileage. In fact, speaking of gas mileage, let's open the hood and I'll tell you what that is. Under the hood is the 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine. It puts out 191 horsepower and 181 foot-pounds of torque. And for those of you who are not fans of the continuously variable CVT transmission, there's good news here. It doesn't have one. You might expect it to based on some of its competitors. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission. What about those gas mileage numbers that I referred to earlier? 25 miles per gallon city, 28 out on the highway, 26 combined, and 3.8 gallons of gas, which is pretty good news, I'd say, right now, is what you should use for every 100 miles you drive. Okay, let's take a look at what we have on the side of the vehicle. 235/60 size tires there, 18-inch rims. And here's the advantage to that 18 series sidewall. If you're not familiar, if you're wanting to have the smoothest ride possible, which these Santa Fe's do have a smooth ride because they have, well, pretty soft suspension, but you also have the contributing factor of that 60 series sidewall right here. A thicker sidewall means more absorption hitting the bumps, driving down the road. That's a good thing. Turn signal indicators built into the power side view mirrors. Now, they're not power folding side view mirrors, but you can manually fold those in if you ever need to. And then we have the remote right here. I apologize that the plastic's on there, but that's what the dealership has. So we kind of try to leave things that way, but you can see it has everything you like there, especially down here on the bottom, the remote start. But obviously a bold look here. You've got the chrome around the windows, the chrome on the roof rails, and then you have the crossbars up there as well. It's nice that it comes with that, so that allows for options for hauling more than just what you can haul into the interior here. In fact, let's take a look at that. You do have a power lift gate right here. We'll open that up and start taking a look into the cargo area. But first, let me tell you about this. You're looking at 3,500 pounds max towing and 36.4 up to 72.1 cubic feet of cargo capacity. If you want to maximize your cargo capacity, you can use these two buttons right here. We're going to let the seats down, and then I will go up and show you real quick. Sometimes those seats tend to not go down all the way, but there we go right there. That helps a lot. And there's also an available, as you can see with these areas right here, where you can put in the cargo cover to help out. But that's not all there is. There is actually more space than just that. So let's talk a little bit about what you have in that respect. So we'll start right here with the area where you'll find everything you need for changing a tire. You do have that spare tire located underneath the vehicle and quite a bit of space right here, but that's not everything. You'll also notice the latch right here that you can grab onto. You can move this up and out of the way. Let's move that up just like that. And this is also removable. We'll show you a shot of that from a clip we shot earlier, but you have quite a few options where cargo capacity is concerned. Just makes things a lot easier. Now you'll notice that the passenger side seat is pretty far back, but I still have quite a bit of space. I could be very comfortable right here. And you know what? If I decided this wasn't comfortable enough, I'll reach down onto that latch on the side of the seat and just recline right on back. My goodness, look at how far back that takes me. Very impressive. And we'll take a look here at what you'll get if you fold the armrest down, if I can do it. There we go. Cup holders right there, a little bit of space in there for maybe some snacks to go with the drinks, and obviously your fold-out armrest. And we'll take a quick look at what you'll find on the door right there. As far as the door panel goes, you've got the door bin right there. It's deeper than it looks. You just kind of, the way that's designed, it doesn't look as deep as it really is. And also, I'll have Carrie pan up here onto the window itself and show you that you have that shade on the window right there. So that's a nice feature. You can obviously remove that, put that back in place if you want to, or your passengers can. Now, one thing that does kind of surprise me back here is the fact that you have the map pocket here on the passenger side seat, on the rear of that, but on the driver's side seat, it's not there. I don't know why it's not there, but it's not necessarily a big deal, especially if you're the driver or you're riding in the front seat. But one thing that is a big deal that is here, and I'm glad that it is the dual air conditioning vents, and then to match that, you've got dual USB ports. So does that mean if there was 3 air conditioning vents, there would be 3 USB ports? And let's not forget the panoramic sunroof. Quite a large sunroof. In fact, I've seen some high-end luxury vehicles that don't have that, and they cost more than twice as much as this Santa Fe. All right, guys, let's talk about the main nerve center of the Santa Fe with the front seat, starting with the door bin over there. You have a much larger door bin on the passenger side door than you do in the rear. Obviously, that's going to correspond here in the front seat area. And then obviously a little bit of space right here to conceal whatever you want to. A phone will fit perfectly up there. A number of phones will fit up there. And then you also have plenty of space down there in the glove box. Very comfortable seating right here. These are heated seats, heated only in this particular case. Here in Northwest Louisiana, we like to have heated, but more so ventilated, because we need that more than anything else. And I'll have Carrie go ahead and hop on in here into the interior, because I really like the look of the dashboard here. You've got your digital dashboard. Everything looks very modern and nice, and it's cool that you can go through your multiple modes. You've got smart there, you've got comfort, but check out what happens when you go into sport mode. It lets you know that, well, you may not be able to drive as spiritedly as you want to with that 191 horsepower, but you also have the look of maybe a little bit more than what you feel like you have. Got the steering wheel mounted controls here. Everything pretty easy to figure out, including the shifter paddles up here when you're in sport mode if you want to drive somewhat spiritedly. Well, there's an additional option that we can kind of throw into that equation. And the center screen right here, I like the fact that it looks modern. It has a nice look to it, but it's also quick to respond. In fact, let's close that. We'll start here and just show you what's here. That's very interesting. So you can actually hear me talking right now. If I wanted to talk to the kids that are sitting in the back seat, well, I guess I could if they were sleeping back there. Now they're not. But you can tell the difference in the sound right there. I'm going to hit that and go home. You can see how fast everything comes up. Now here's something that's good to know. I'm going to hit map right here. So you see how quickly everything comes up. There's not any lag issues. So as you can see, everything's easy to use, easy to figure out. Everything you would expect to be here is here. Now you do have a very, well, kind of busy center stack here on the console as far as everything you control with the radio, everything for the dual zone climate control right there. This is what I was using earlier to go through my different driving modes. We can also turn off the auto stop start feature, which I know most of you like to do that. You've got the power parking brake over there and auto hold for your brakes. You come to a complete stop when that is activated, and the vehicle doesn't move when you take your foot off the brake pedal until you push the gas pedal again. But tell me down in the comments, we do have a push button shifter in this particular case. What do you think about that? Do you like it? Do you not? Well, everyone has their opinions on that. Here are the controls for the heated only seats, and then we'll reveal the cup holders right there, or one of the cup holders. The other one doesn't get to hide like this one does. And you got your USB ports there. And finally, last but not least, we've got the center console right here. And believe it or not, that's actually pretty deep. Not what you would probably expect, but yet you can see with me reaching all the way down there with my hand, it is deep. All right, real quick, I want to talk about something. Normally I would say you could put your beef jerky and all your snacks and stuff right there, and technically I guess you could, but if you open this area up right here, you've got your USB port and you've got an indicator right there. Well, what exactly is that indicator? Well, this is actually your wireless charging pad. So what's going to happen? You see how my phone just came on right there, and you'll see, we'll make sure you can see that real well. We'll put our hand over that so you can see the shadow to give you the light. So all of that's on now because my phone is charging down here in the wireless charging area. A little bit different. The only other vehicle I've seen that in is a Cadillac Escalade. And if you're wondering about that panoramic sunroof, there is a shade up here. We'll see if Carrie can show that to you real quick. Just kind of give you a glance of that. But if you want to open that, or the sunroof itself, which does open, well, there's the shade. We're going to open that up and try not to blind you with too much sunlight. But as you can see, there it is. That's going to open right up. Kind of a nice effect. It even has the wind guard right here so that you don't have to worry about all that wind noise when you're driving down the road. All right, we're going to start off our test drive here, and I'm not in sport mode at the moment, and I really can't do much anyway because we have some traffic in front of us here, and obviously this isn't a monster truck. I can't drive over the top of them even though they're driving under the speed limit, and I would like to. But we're not going to do that today because that'd probably be my last Hyundai test drive. But so far, what is my opinion? Well, the ride is very good, very comfortable, very smooth. And something that I find interesting here, got my hands on the steering wheel, you've got the little haunches right here that you can kind of wrap your hands around. They're just in a really good position. Different people are going to do different things in different areas. But what I like is their location is perfect and their size is the best part. And so obviously as far as that goes, I'm really comfortable with this steering wheel. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel. And let's see here, let's move over to a different driving mode here. Hopefully this pilot's gonna pull out in front of us anyway. Okay, now I can do a little bit. Oh boy, we've got all kinds of bad drivers today.
Wow.
Welcome to Shreveport. Well, anyway, before we were distracted by the bad drivers, for those of you who watch regularly, you know that's a common occurrence here. But I went into sport mode before I got distracted by our champion drivers of Shreveport. There's a YouTube channel by that name, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
Before I was distracted, when I changed into sport mode, I could tell a little bit of a difference. And the horsepower isn't that great here, but you know what? That's okay, because for the right person, this is really the perfect vehicle because you don't necessarily need a lot of horsepower. And keep in mind, I have more people in the car than I normally do. Got Carrie, got the 2 grandkids in the back, his grandkids back there. And so obviously we have a little more weight in the vehicle than I typically have on these test drives. So it's given me a great opportunity to see a little bit more about what happens with acceleration. So obviously there is more than enough horsepower here to get down the road. Now, one thing that is going to be a little different here, it contributes to a great ride quality, but the fact that the suspension is really soft, so when you go through a corner, kind of like what we did back there, you're going to get a little bit more body roll than you might otherwise. That's not a bad thing because this isn't really meant to be driven spiritedly, even though I guess technically you could do that. But I don't think people are going to say, man, I'm having a bad day, I'm going out to drive spiritedly in my Hyundai Santa Fe. Well, I don't know. Someone's probably going to make a YouTube video now where they say that and they're going to send me the link. You never know what might happen. But overall, I must say, I'm really impressed here. Everything's easy to get to. The infotainment screen seems to be pretty easy to learn and operate. Ride quality is great. And you do have those different driving modes. If you need to get around slower moving traffic or maybe merge onto the interstate where the speed limit's 70 or in some states 75 miles per hour, you can go into sport mode, and then once you get up to speed, you can drop down into comfort mode if you need to. But speaking of comfort, I'm going to change positions. We're going to put Carrie over here in the driver's seat and let him drive. I'm going to hop into the back seat back there and tell you what the ride quality is like. All right, guys, this is really different. Got my 2 little helpers right here helping out with the video today, and I'm sitting in the middle. I don't normally do that, but I'll tell you what, it's the perfect place to find out what the ride quality is like in the back seat. And so far, I think it's pretty comfortable back here. You're going to get a little bit more of a rough ride in the back seat of any vehicle than you do in the front, but I can tell you that it's not bad back here. I don't believe that the rear seat passengers are going to complain as we go around the corner, other than when I do something like this, or when we go to the left, I'll do something like this. Gotta have some fun with that. But what do you 2 think about the ride quality back here?
I mean, it's good, I think that the ride is kind of smooth going.
I think that's a good analogy right there, a good explanation. It's kind of smooth, but really on most road surfaces you're going to find that it is. The thing is that here in Shreveport, Louisiana, it's a great place for testing ride quality, shocks, and suspension. And unfortunately, because the roads are not maintained very well here, well, that kind of makes things seem worse than they really are. But overall, I'm impressed with what we have back here. A great view out of the panoramic sunroof. What do you two think about the view?
It's actually a pretty good view from here.
I like that.
Well, not everything, but like things that I want to see up here.
It'd be nice to do a nighttime test drive. Maybe we can do that sometime in the future. But overall, I'm very impressed, whether I'm sitting in the front seat or sitting here in the back. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.